I'm glad we're awakening new kinks in your pets. Hello, welcome to So We're Watching That Right, a podcast where two lesbians bully each other for having the same taste in anime. I'm Becky, scientifically certified best girl.
And I'm Val, everyone's favorite harem protagonist.
Anime still hasn't killed us, despite some of its best efforts yet, so here goes. There is a bit of NSFW talk later in the episode, timestamps in the description if you want to avoid it. But we're starting with a show that is technically not unsafe for work. Just.
How many double negatives can we fit in this motherfucker?
It's the triumphant return of marinated chicken in the summer Hikaru died. So they were in cooking class making karaage, and handling the raw chicken reminded Yoshiki so much of when he felt up Not Hikaru that he got distracted, and so Not Hikaru offered to let him feel him up again. So they went to a classroom and did that.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, Hikaru did something like touching him back while his hand was reaching inside Not Hikaru's chussie. And then it played the almond break and Yoshiki freaked out. This show is something.
Yeah. It's an excuse for you to say chussie repeatedly.
That is one of the things that it is, yes.
I feel the joy every time you get to use that word.
Just provided you also feel the regret. They have to go together. Anyway, if the subtext wasn't clear enough, after Yoshiki is panicked and pulled out, Not Hikaru says, I just touched you back a little bit. You've got to get used to it. They're actually a really cute couple, is the thing, and they care about each other so much, and this exploration of each other that they're undergoing is terrifying, and it all feels very real. The actual, core thing of this episode is that a ghost starts haunting Yoshiki's sister in their bathroom, and Not Hikaru gets mad about this because it's like another ghost muscling in on his turf, and goes into the bathroom to fight the ghost, and doesn't win. And after a little while, Yoshiki gets worried and goes in after him and finds him lying in the bath under the water and tries to lift him out and gets sucked in under the water himself, and then has a freaky flashback from which he wakes up biting Not Hikaru so hard that he bleeds. Because again, what is subtext?
Yeah. He gets possessed by the ghost, briefly.
Yes.
He ends up biting Hikaru and scraping a chunk out of his cheek with his thumb, kind of grappling with him under the water. And Hikaru finally forces it out of him. But yeah, it's pretty rough. Yeah,
it's a hell of a sequence. The whole thing, flashbacks and all, really incredible sequence. Everything about this show is so beautifully animated, so lush and visceral. And we're still only on episode 5. There's so much more that this show is going to be before it's done, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
In what is turning into the other, major serious show of the season for us, there's Watari-kun's Blank is About to Collapse, which this episode was all about the creepy stalker who is following Yukari, the girl that Watari should get with, maybe. And the deal is that they knew each other in middle school, and this guy was convinced that Yukari was the perfect partner for him, and so told everyone they were dating, and Yukari was too reserved and afraid of rejection and stuff to deny it effectively. And now she's got all this trauma about being believed, and Watari helps her stand up to him and calls him a stalker, and they definitely haven't seen the last of him yet, but it was a pretty satisfying confrontation.
I believe they have mostly seen the last of him. The thing I was referencing when I was talking about it while we were watching it was a detail that just didn't make it into the adaptation. I feel like a couple shows this season are really kind of flopping on the adaptation front by trying to cram too much in, which is always a problem. Because there's usually a climax they want to get to.
Yeah.
Or an arc they want to hit. within the span of the anime. We'll talk about the other one. But yeah, there are a lot of little details about this show that I felt were important in the manga from what I read, and were not in the show so much. It's going to hit a lot of the same notes, but it's not going to have a lot of the same verve that the manga did, which is always the problem with adaptations.
Yeah. Anyway, they have this confrontation with the Stalker, and then just as the Stalker's about to really lose his cool and start attacking people, Satsuki shows up and flattens him, which is the best thing Satsuki's done all show so far. But also, so Watari was being sent out to find Yukari after she went like walking alone at night, and he was like, well, what do I say to her? I have no idea what to say to her. And he looked at Satsuki like he was expecting her to help, and she is so pissed off about it, which rightly so. I think her situation's real rough, even if she's creepy.
Everyone in the show has problems, and her problems are, the crux of the show right now, and the crux of the show in general. So
yeah, I don't know how the knot of this show is going to be cut or untied, and it scares me every time.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get to that eventually, but probably not all the way, because as fast as they're going, I don't think they're gonna get through all 16 volumes.
Oof. Maybe we'll get a second season.
Speaking of a second season,
it's My Dress Up Darling!
Yeah.
A show that can only bring me joy. The actual plot that is being set up this season is clearly something to do with Gojo overworking himself to death. And, I hope he learns to rest and take care of himself and value himself more. Looks at you.
Shut up.
I'm right, as always.
I'm sick. You gotta be nice to me.
Yeah, how dare I be so cruel as to suggest that you should value yourself and take care of yourself.
So mean. The most cruel thing you've ever done to me.
But, the actual thing here is there's so much gender. They keep teasing the idea that a boy might crossplay. Apart from Himeno, who we've already met crossplaying, and that was great. But, Gojo or one of his friends at school, they're not actually teasing the idea. It's just me desperate to see that. Because if I can't have Force Femme Kame Katsuragi, I will accept Force Femme Gojo Wakana. We missed out on the World God Only Knows this week because of an interruption. So I haven't had my fix of Force Femme Kame Katsuragi.
Yep. We'll get to that. Well, we're not going to get to that because there's no more Force Femmes. There's no cross-dressing stuff in the rest of the episodes.
Boo.
But yeah, we're going to get to the end of The World God Only Knows Goddess's arc on Wednesday.
Anyway, we got cute things that happened this episode. There was an educational puppet interlude.
Yep.
To explain how Hina dolls are made by a team of people. The puppets were adorable. Everything about this show is adorable. The puppets were especially adorable. We had Marin trying to level up as a wife by making Gojo lunches, but all she could do was cook him various forms of fried meat. Poor boy.
Yeah.
He is actually the wife in the relationship.
Yeah, she cooks like a Monster Hunter.
She cooks like I would if I could get away with it.
I'll be your Gojo.
Thank you, dear. I promise to call you Princess.
Don't you fucking dare.
Well, excuse me, Princess.
I'm gonna throttle you.
Love you.
Love you too.
Anyway, the best scene this episode was they're talking about how they've all watched the anime that Marin's going to cosplay from, and the girls are talking about the excitement that comes from the character Marin's cosplaying, and Gojo's like, well, I kind of get it, but also not being a girl, I don't really get it. So Marin turns on the full act of this character and hits on him, calling him Princess, and it's great. I am extremely here for it.
It's really good.
Speaking of extremely here for it,
yeah,
There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover Unless has finally arrived at the fake dating rom-com horseshit drama that we signed up for.
Yeah, and it's with a different girl entirely, which is just
Satsuki is doing the fake dating thing to get revenge on Mai.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's really fucking funny.
She's so normal.
She's so normal, and everything is going to end up fine.
I can't wait for this scheme to fully bite Satsuki in the ass when she actually does fall in love with Rena next week, the week after.
I'm going to lob a softball up in the air. I think she genuinely is already crushing on Renako and just won't admit it because she thinks that it will go easier if Renako thinks she doesn't actually like her.
Maybe. To my mind, it's funnier if she doesn't at the moment, and then we get a moment next episode or the episode after where she's like, wait, shit, this was not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, we learned some fascinating things about Satsuki, like the fact that her mom is a gamer and that her taste in literature is porn.
Yeah, girl loves her smut, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been talking about this on the show, but I've basically been, like, reading the novels to catch up with where the show is as we work through them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a lot of little things that feel like really important to characterization. I'm wondering how the smut is going to be presented.
There will probably be more detail.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like one shot in the anime. And that feels like the sort of thing that would get toned down a bit.
What I'm expecting is it's going to be like a little sample paragraph before she shuts the book and goes, I shouldn't read this on the train.
That's how you can tell she's not out as a lesbian yet. Speaking of which, she is instantly restored whenever Ajisai walks into the room. She cannot stop talking about how pretty Satsuki is. She is still claiming not to like girls.
Yeah. Also cute was her making a joke about what class Ajisai is, and Ajisai playing along with her.
Yeah.
And then going, wait, no, that's not what I'm here to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, there's actual chemistry in these two. It's a shame they're not gonna be the focus for the next few episodes, but you know.
Their time will come.
Yeah.
We also, like, there's a growing amount of foreshadowing about what Mai was like as a kid, which is really interesting. Apparently she was a wreck, which is promising. Also, at one point in this episode, Mai is like, let's go and chat somewhere cool today to Renako, and then drags her to her limo, which is just parked outside the school gates.
Truly insane.
I did wonder for a second if Mai was going to go full yandere and kidnap her. I wouldn't put that past this show.
I mean, that's the entire fucking first arc is the thing. Like, that entire arc is just like, let's set up what we could expect Mai to do, and the answer is fucking everything. That's the problem.
Yeah. Anyway, we felt safe moving this show out of the content warning block this week, which is good. Like, that was a relief.
Indeed.
We also just today watched See You Tomorrow at the Food Court, episode 5, in which a lot of things happened. So Wada got mad about the continuity in a manga vis-a-vis whether it was a permanent marker or a washable marker that was used to write on someone's face, and got Yamamoto to draw on her in both permanent and washable marker to see what the difference was. And Yamamoto ended up writing meat on her forehead in permanent marker by accident. And that was maybe the least drastic thing that happened this episode.
Yeah.
So Wada ran into the boy who had a crush on her in middle school.
Elementary school. Even further back.
Elementary school. Jesus. And this led to an absolute shit fit between Wada and Yamamoto, because Wada went home with the boy without telling Yamamoto, and Yamamoto got worried and is also jealous. Like, the fight is bad enough to cause elementary school flashbacks.
Middle school flashbacks.
God damn it! I edited the one thing because of the...
Yeah.
Anyway, middle school flashbacks of when Wada and Yamamoto met for the first time and how they agreed to start meeting regularly at the food court and stuff. But then a few days later, Wada comes back and makes actually a good apology. Like, there's no dissembling, there's no kind of fake contrition. And then they have this exchange. I forget what Yamamoto says, but Wada goes, so you are jealous. And Yamamoto deadpan replies, probably not in the way you think. And, like, the show doesn't play it as lesbian, but I know what you are. I know what you are, Yamamoto. And then Wada calls Yamamoto super darling, Which, do you want to explain this one?
Yeah, so she calls her a supadari, which is, short for super darling, as she so eloquently enunciates, which is how Renako refers to Mai in Watanare before she gets, more in the light novel, before she gets more of a glimpse behind that mask of madness. And it's just like, that was a really funny thing to have to realize.
Yeah.
Just like, this is basically everyone's favorite. So we call her the Supadari at the school, but okay, Wata, go off. You're straight, quote
Wata
unquote.
would read Watanare, to be fair.
And still be incredibly straight somehow? No.
She's not incredibly straight.
She was trying to get with the guy who wouldn't flip her skirt in elementary school.
Well, no, she was flattered to think that he had a crush on her.
No,
It's not quite the same thing.
She was mad that he had a girlfriend. There was that whole fucking thing.
I think that was more about her ego than actual, desire for him.
Yeah.
Anyway, they end the episode by, as a makeup thing, planning a trip to the beach and buying each other swimsuits. Mm-hmm. Which goes, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, swimmingly.
Mm-hmm. Why can't you believe that you were going to say that? That is how it went, and that is the dumb joke you would make in that point.
Shut up. I'm funny.
Yeah, you are. I love you so much. You admit it.
God damn it. I'm cutting that from the edit.
That's fine. No one will believe.
I'm going to miss this show so much.
Yeah.
It's only, why are there only 6 episodes? Next week's the last episode. I need more.
Yeah, it is kind of a mystery to me why there's only 6 episodes, but
maybe there's not a lot of the source material.
I don't think that's true. I believe there's a fair amount of the source material.
Maybe KFC would only pay for 6 episodes.
That's so true.
This episode did open with just a 10-second shot of a KFC cup.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on to an episode of April Showers Bring May Flowers titled I Don't Understand Girls, which I'm not sure any character on this show understands girls, so that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Tabata turns out to be a secret table tennis ninja. It's sports day. They go to the soccer game to cheer for Ueno, and Tabata is standing there mumbling cheers, kind of. Finally works up the courage to actually cheer out loud, distracts Ueno, and he gets hit in the face with the ball, and the team loses because he's their best player and he has to leave the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Uguisudani, who still believes that she is an evil Machiavellian schemer, realizes that Ueno barely noticed her when she was standing next to Tabata.
Yeah.
And for reasons that will become clear later in this episode, I find Uguisudani's failures deeply satisfying.
It's really funny as a subversion of the character type. Let's just say that for now.
Yeah. Anyway, the episode centered around this extremely contrived, pure rom-com moment where Ueno's bro, whose name I didn't put in my notes.
Shinbashi, is that it?
Shinbashi, that's the one, yeah. Shinbashi is trying to persuade Tabata to make a move on Ueno, and Tabata is denying being interested, and Ueno arrives at the perfect moment to hear Tabata saying, anyone but Ueno, which, this only happens in rom-coms.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a thing that has ever happened in real life, ever. It was entirely contrived so that she would have to write him an apology letter, and then they could clear the air about their feelings a bit, maybe. But it's fine, because it's cute.
Mm-hmm. Stories do not need to be realistic.
Sometimes a rom-com can just be nonsense, yes. Anyway, speaking of rom-coms and nonsense, I suppose, is a good segue to The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity.
Yep.
You actually looked up the height difference.
Yeah.
Since we keep talking about it.
Yeah, it's one of the things listed on their profiles on my anime list. I was just like, oh, I should mention this. Yeah, Kaoruko is 4'10" and Rintaro is 6'3".
With a 17-inch height difference.
Yeah, it's especially because, I think I've talked about this. I don't know if it's been on the podcast. I don't feel like I'm tall at 5'11", but I sure get called tall. And when someone else is 6'3", I'm like, that person's tall. And then also seeing this girl at 4'10" is crazy.
She's so small.
It's cute though. It's really cute.
They go on a study date. She makes him a study guide. The study guide helps him pass the tests and even get more than 50% on one of them. And then the episode ends with the terrible, disastrous discovery by Rintaro's classmates of the study guide that Kaoriko made, in which she has left an adorable little, study well note. So the game's up, and his classmates are going to know something's up now. And I'm sure they'll be very normal about that. Because God knows Kaoriko's friends are being normal about it.
Yeah.
We get more backstory on Subaru, the very, very angry and hostile childhood friend of Kaoriko, who is desperate to protect her from the negative effects that her getting involved with Rintaro will have. And for the first time, someone in this show blames the teachers for the hostility between the schools, which is good. Because, God, the teachers at these schools clearly need to be fired.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing with, school rivalry stuff like this is it's always going to be the teachers.
Yeah.
Because the teachers are the ones who stick around for more than 3 years. So it's just whatever animosity is brewed between these two schools, it's not the students' fault.
The teachers also just have, a more positive material stake in the school's reputation. Speaking of teachers, in Secrets of the Silent Witch, episode 5, one of the mages who Monica trained under shows up as a new teacher at the school, and thus is a risk of blowing her cover. And she goes to one of his lectures, and he spends 5 minutes singing her praises, while she just sinks progressively lower and lower behind her desk. She's made 2 new friends who are, they're not literally cat boys, but also they are cat boys. And one of them is so powerful that he breaks the magic power testing machine.
Yep.
And so, in order to give her an alternative to going to the magic class that this old teacher of hers teaches, he's too short-sighted to recognize it. Did I mention that? I don't think I did. Yeah, the joke is that he looks at her and he's like, "Oh, new students, nice to meet you," because he can't see them.
Yeah, it's to the degree where he's standing at the podium giving his lecture, and he looks out to the door, and he needs to be told how many new students there are. His sight is getting there.
Anyway, as an alternative to taking that class, Monica gets introduced to the chess club. So first it has to be explained to her that chess is not a simulationist tactical game.
Yeah.
Somebody should get this girl on Warhammer or something.
Don't inflict Warhammer on this child.
But the numbers, she would love all the numbers.
Oh, God.
But yeah, then she gets very fascinated by chess and would have beaten the guy who brought her to the club, except that she didn't know about castling because he hadn't explained it to her, and it turned out to be the winning move.
Yeah. This motherfucker better not pull out shit with en passant again. She will be so mad.
I suspect that Monica will have read the entire rules of chess by the start of next episode. But also, it was nice because that was a sucky thing, and it upset Monica, and then the guy apologized and did his best to make amends.
Yeah. He's kind of an asshole, but he knows when he's fucked up, and he's willing to be like, "That's on me. I shouldn't have done that."
Yeah.
Which I like.
Yeah, no, it was good. And then so Monica apparently has basically photographic memory, and they're on their way out to a barn for I forget exactly why. It's school council business.
Checking basically a shipment of stuff from a trader company.
That's right. And Monica spots that the insignia on the side of the wagon doesn't quite match. And so they foil a plot to, a guy pulled a knife on them. Probably something shady was going on. And then we are introduced to a horse girl, in the real world sense of horse girls, whose name is Casey. For some reason, that's really funny to me to have, a character named Casey at the posh school in a Japanese posh school anime, but it's the perfect horse girl name for this show. And she and Monica bond over a nursery rhyme that Monica likes because it has beautiful number sequences in it.
Yep.
And so Monica also joins the horse riding club.
Yep.
Right. Turkey Time Strike update. They have formulated a plan to get back to their own time by recreating the events that caused them to travel in time in the first place. This requires them to build a bowling alley. There's another falling out between Mai and Rina. And Rina goes off into the forest to build a bowling alley while Mai fucking ends up mobilizing the entire village to build a bowling alley.
Good grief.
All of this happens in the course of one morning. So Mai's got a phrase that she mutters to the bowling ball every time she bowls, which is, let's all go home together. Because when she was a child and she was sad about the fact that the bowling pins all fall into a dark hole when you knock them down, her mother explained that they were all going home, which is adorable.
Okay, sure.
So, like, let's all go home together is a catchphrase for the show now. They do succeed in recreating the conditions. There's a storm at the right time and lightning starts to strike, and they do the exact same game where Mai has to bowl a turkey and they get a lightning strike at the right time, and the bowling ball powers up and is about to carry them off back to their own time. But the lightning strike has struck a tree near the bowling alley and set it on fire, and where it falls cuts Rina off from the rest of them. And it turns out that at least some of her complex is around the fact that she's a first year and they're the year above her and they're going to leave her behind when they leave school. And she explains that the reason she's so competitive is that she knows how to be useful by being competitive. And she doesn't know how to just, like, do a thing for its own sake. She has to be useful so that people will want her around.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the bowling ball starts to carry Mai off and all the other girls jump on. And the great shiny lane sweeper in the sky descends out of the clouds to light the way home. And Rina tells them to go home without her because they're going to leave her behind eventually anyway when they leave the school. She runs off and she's like walking despondently through the storm when the other girls catch up with her and say, look, we're not leaving you behind. Let's all go home together. It's very sweet, but also I cannot stress enough how much a really critical, important turning point of this series is 4 girls dangling from a floating bowling ball while a great shiny lane sweeper in the sky lights the way home through the magical storm.
Yeah.
Incredible. This is why I love anime.
Yeah.
Speaking of that level of nonsense, let's do some brief mentions.
Yeah.
Starting with Bad Girl Episode 5, which fit in an enormous amount of nonsense. There was a contestation over nicknames that led to Mizutori demanding that you call her the Meteor Hotate Scallop.
Mm-hmm.
You tried to prove that she was a bad girl by riding tandem on a bike with blonde girl whose name I've forgotten. Suzu. But she can't ride a bike, so they just train how to ride a bike and eventually send Mizutori a video of you riding a bike with stabilizers with Suzu sat very demurely on the back.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing this episode was the introduction of another girl who is a classmate and maybe lover of Mizutori's called Ki, who is just straight up like a predator animal.
Mm-hmm.
She meets you twice and is like, I'm going to claim her for my own and maybe eat her.
Yeah, my favorite part is she's just like, you're not usually my type, but you look like a lot of fun.
I mean, I would have the same response if I met you, Danny. You.
I'm literally having that response in my life. I can't throw any stones about this.
You really can't. You should hear, folks, the bit that I'm going to have cut from this episode.
You
join our Discord. It will be posted in there.
Fuck off.
We watched episode 5 of Dealing with Mikadono Sisters as a Breeze, which introduced the girl's father, who is evil, and I hate him, and I hope he gets destroyed. He doesn't want the girls to ever do anything for fun or pleasure. He wants them only to, like, succeed at things, and he doesn't want... What's his name? Is he also called You?
Yeah, I think so.
It's 2 consecutive shows.
Yep,
with
You ISA is his name, so yep.
Weedy creatures named You as their protagonists. I wish they'd know. That's a very dumb joke, I apologize. Anyway, so they all go back to like their terrible eating habits and like snacking and really unhealthy eating and find that it's just lost its charm relative to Yu's cooking. So he ninja sneaks bentos into their bags one day before school.
Yep.
And then he's in the kitchen cooking, and it's revealed that it's not that he's like a genius for cooking or domestic management. He just works really hard, and he's still a klutz, and he keeps dropping things. And he drops something and then falls over trying to pick it up and the eldest sister falls over on top of him, and they land in a kiss, and then eldest sister goes completely insane.
Just a little.
Because she plays romantic roles. She's like training for her first role, playing a woman in a romance, and also her current production, she's playing like the male lead of a romance. And now every time she thinks of kissing anybody, she thinks of you and loses her shit. Meanwhile, Yu is just bothered because his first kiss tasted of blood because he'd just given himself a nosebleed by face planting.
Yep.
Poor kid.
He'll be fine.
He does seem kind of indestructible.
Yep.
Speaking of indestructible, in cultural exchange with a Game Center girl, we met Lily's dad, who is allegedly British. But no, this is not a British archetype. This man is American.
Oh, God.
The show is committed to doing some Britishness things, right? Like calling it Mothering Sunday instead of Mother's Day.
Which tripped me up.
That's the old-fashioned name for it over here.
That's weird.
My mother would call her mother on Mothering Sunday, even though we were buying her Mother's Day presents. But the other thing that we get a lot of the dad, the introduction of the dad is basically Lily and Renji end up sharing an umbrella on the way back from, like, they only have one umbrella between them, so Renji walks Lily home, and Lily is so shy about this that she's just kind of drifting further and further away from Renji, out from under the umbrella into the rain. So he moves closer, and she gets so panicked by this that she stumbles and nearly falls into the road in front of a car, which turns out to have her dad in it. And then her dad more or less kidnaps Renji to put the screws to him about dating his daughter.
Which is fair.
Renji is a college student, and Lily is a middle schooler.
Mm-hmm. We have kind of glossed over that a bit.
Yeah.
I think the thing with this premise is, like, they're not actually dating or doing anything. She just has a really obvious crush on him that he's kind of not reciprocating.
Yeah.
He's just kind of existing, and she is doing her best to try and fix that, but it's question marks. It's not going well.
Yeah. Young kids do sometimes form fixations on older people.
Yeah.
We saw that in April Showers last week with Ueno's brother and the flower shop lady, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I have literally had to talk to a couple of people like, hey, age gap's a little much. Probably not okay for you to be doing this.
Yeah.
But, like, I think Renji is very much too dense to notice what's going on, or he would go, hey, let's, like, ease up a little there, girl, please. Your dad's gonna fucking kill me.
I mean, it feels to me like he is humoring her rather than anything else. Like, he's like, oh, that's cute. This kid has kind of fixated on me, and, you know, I can do a little bit of cultural outreach.
Yeah.
You know, it does feel like it's living up to the cultural exchange element, I think.
That's fair.
Anyway, I want to talk about Utagoe wa Mille-Feuille, which, like, sorry for my atrocious French pronunciation. It's really hard to switch from Japanese pronunciation of Utagoe, which is already not the easiest Japanese word to pronounce, to fucking Mille-Feuille, which French is plagued with vowels.
Yeah.
Anyway, this second episode, we get more on the girl with the camera from the first episode, who turns out to be like a YouTuber. And the YouTube video that she is making that is referenced repeatedly in the show is she's decided to try to combine the 1,000-degree steel ball with Coke and Mentos.
Okay.
By heating up Mentos to 1,000 degrees and putting them in Coke is the plan. What actually happens is she gets a conventional household burner and puts a bunch of Mentos in it, whereupon they promptly catch fire and stink.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason they use steel for that, girl.
Or nickel.
Yeah.
Like,
something that will hold the heat.
metal and not sugar.
I mean, I assume that if you heated the Mentos to like 50 or 60, the reaction would be a little bit more violent, but anything after that and you just have burnt sugar and it smells bad. Anyway, that's not the most creature thing that happens in this episode. It's full of creatures, but taking the absolute prize is that Irie, who is the club president and who is clearly like from a very rich background, casually mentions at one point that she operates her own personal network of Wi-Fi hotspots around the school that she just installed for shits and giggles.
What the fuck?
And she used it to basically dox Urin, the streamer.
What the fuck?
She wanted to... So, the streamer girl does some, like, really bad basic beatboxing on her streams. And the a cappella group need a mouth percussionist. And Irie's like, I'm going to recruit that girl.
Oh my god.
She is the musical equivalent of Mai from Watanare.
Yeah, no fucking kidding.
They're all creatures. Like, I wasn't sure I was going to press on with this show, but creatures. Creatures everywhere. Speaking of creatures everywhere.
That could apply to all three of the shows we are talking about next. So
yes, detectives these days are crazy. Episode 5, they go to the detective's favorite bar where they have to act like they're in a 30s jazz noir, or the barkeep passes out.
Yeah, you must be this cool to order. Yeah,
and then they get trapped in a death game where instead of death, it's somebody showing childhood photos of Maki, which is a good bit because humiliated cats.
You do love a humiliated cat.
I really do.
Or two. Undetermined at this time.
I mean, I love several humiliated cats.
The more the merrier.
Then there was With You in the Rain, which is literally about a creature, but also there was, like, Fuji got a job offer to write a manga from a very shy mangaka who was too shy to give Fuji any guidance about what kind of story she wanted, which bodes ill. Then Fuji was in the park and she met a couple of girls who could tell something was up with the Tanuki, but it was fine because one of the girls was just like a cat. Like, fully channeling, I want to be a cat when I grow up.
Yeah.
And then we saw what Tanukis are like in shedding season. Briefly, Apocalypse Ring and Mynoghra, episode 5, we got to see Atto actually being evil and killing the knights. But then she's like, I'm a pacifist, and she apologizes to Takato for getting carried away. She's such a dork this episode. It's great.
It's really good. She, like, has an extended monologue about how much she's gonna fuck up this dude's family and life and nation. And then she kills him, and then someone goes, are you actually gonna do any of that? And she's like, fuck no!
Yeah.
I'm a pacifist. And everyone's just like, what?
Yeah. It's basically all about getting the Empire to leave them alone. And we were introduced to another witch who looks suspiciously like Hosho Marin from Hololive.
Yeah, a little bit.
And at one point does say, all my simps come on, as a zombie raising spell.
Yep. Also, her epithet is the Slurping Witch, which is crazy.
That's worse than the Sludge Witch.
Yeah.
Is the bit going to be that they all have, like, names, titles that begin with slur?
Wow, the Slur
Is there
Witch
going to be a
is...
slutty witch?
We went two different directions with that one. The Slur Witch and the Slutty Witch.
I mean, there could be both. I hope there's neither.
Oh, God.
Anyway, content warning, sex talk block for the next 10 minutes or whatever. See timestamps in description. Briefly on Chuhai Lips. We think that the boy fucked a Tanuki this episode.
Yeah, it's pretty... I wouldn't say it's conclusive, but it sure fucking came across like he fucked a Tanuki.
Yeah. And not just... Well, no, actually, he doesn't fuck the Tanuki. The Tanuki chains him to a bed and then rides him.
Yeah.
Which...
After, like, plying him with dinner and drink, and also, like, using some of the same oil she used on the meat on him to make it very clear that he is part of the meal, so to speak.
Somehow she didn't suck him off.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is good that the boy got topped.
Yeah.
And then there are the continuing misadventures of Nukitashi the Animation.
Yep.
Which, like, it was slightly less rapey this week. There was not an on-screen rape scene this week, which is an improvement. But inevitably, and I understand why this happens, they talked in terms of lollies when they were talking about the age of consent and, like, what age range of sex is legal on the island. I actually went and looked up what the age of consent is in Japan. Officially, it's 16 in the law that actually says this is the age of consent. But there's a whole bunch of other laws that apply that often make it effectively 18. So I don't really know what's going on here as far as age of consent, because these characters are all like 16, 17.
Yeah, like, the thing that I would say about that is, like, okay, so when we're talking about, like, eroge, a lot of them are set in high school.
Yeah.
Because a lot of galgays and karogays are in high school, because that's a really turbulent time for a lot of kids. And also, the theory posited by a lot of people is that, like, once you get out of high school, your path in life is pretty much set.
Yeah.
So there's not as much room for flexibility afterwards. And so, like, a lot of what you're doing in high school is trying to find your way.
Yeah.
A lot of stories will be like, oh, I need to think about my future. But if you're in high school, you're going to be from ages 16 to 18.
Yeah.
And that's where that kind of gray zone of, like, these are characters that are, if you're playing them outside of Japan, they're going to have a thing that's just like, every character features is over 18 because we cannot deal with this fucking gray zone with the legal stuff. But, like, that's kind of like the zone.
Yeah. I think you can be 15 and in Japanese high school as a first year. I think you start at 15.
Yeah, but it's like, generally, they're not going to make an issue of going, yeah, this character is 15. It's just like, they're a first year.
Yeah. And, you know, to be fair, 15-year-olds have sex a bunch, and it's fine to have stories about that. It's just...
This particular one.
This show has such... You know, it is half-baked in its world building, but the half-baking results in such a complicated set of fictional assertions about what sex is and isn't legal that it's just we also get, like, there's a really, really unfortunate line after they've cleared up. The episode picks up where the previous one left off, which is this girl who looks underage. Somebody was trying to rape her. The rapist, by the way, we didn't really talk about this last week, but is visually monsterized in a bunch of really trite ways. He's hugely overweight. He's like an adult baby kind of fetishist. Like all these things that are kind of regarded as abject. But they clear up the age range issue, and then the, like, sex cop who's on the scene says slightly forced sex is permitted. I hate that. That is such a bad creative choice.
Yeah.
To go with that phrase of all, like, to suggest the category of quote unquote slightly forced sex. It's either forced or it isn't.
Yeah, and we are, I think, both of the opinion that any degree of, like, coercion, like, makes it forced and non-consensual.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Like, it is very, very clear that this girl did not want to have sex with this guy, and that should have been the end of it. Yeah, taking this as a real moral situation rather than, you know, complex questions of what we portray in fiction. And it's like, there's still funny stuff in this show, right?
It's been all Tenga eggs full of, like, various liquids. And there was a lot of that this episode, but also she had one of the girls had a condom that turned into, like, a grappling hook because it stuck to a tree.
I had forgotten the condom.
That was literally what made me say I think the only joke we can make about this shit show is James Bondage, because what else do you say about this fucking show? And
that kind of is its only joke.
Yeah.
Everything else is, Lamau, what if sex? Janosuke did, like, so Japanese schools have this health day tradition where they do all their, like, biometric measurements. And of course, in this school, it's a dick measuring day. And Janosuke was able to bypass this by wearing a chastity belt. I don't understand why chastity belts are legal in this setting.
Yeah,
that's another one of these weird wrinkles.
The students write it off as, like, oh, the biggest slut in school is making sure he saves up enough to satisfy her later. But, like, I guess that's the thing, like, I guess they permit monogamy, but you gotta be fucking. Question mark?
I mean, they were explicit that they didn't, though.
I
mean, I think it just doesn't make sense, and they did it for a bit, and we're not supposed to think about it because it's porn. But, and this is ultimately where I've arrived at after 3 episodes of this show, I don't think it is porn. I don't think it's sexy at all. And I don't think it's particularly funny most of the time. Previous episodes, there were some sparks of like compelling character stuff with the younger sister. There was less of that this episode too. That might have been a flash in the pan.
I'm like, the thing I'm wondering is like, are they really going to be able to get through this fucking game's like main route in 11 episodes? Because a lot of issues with visual novel adaptations is just the pacing. And the playtime on this game is apparently fucking 42 hours.
Jesus
so I'm like,
Christ, 42 hours of this.
I don't know how much of that is branching routes or like what the situation is there, which might like change that. But also, if the entire point of your main character's existence is to go, no, I don't want to fuck, how do you have character routes in an eroge like this? That's why I'm just like, how much are they like, what is going on with this fucking plot?
I mean, I assume a lot of the actual sex scenes in the game must be quote-unquote bad ends, where Jinosuke gets caught by each of the different cops and so on.
Maybe, but I'm also just like, this doesn't feel like it's moving faster than the game would. Like, a lot of, if you look at like Clannad or like, not rewrite, fucking Shuffle, or like another one where, you know, a lot of stuff happens and they still manage to cram it into, like, fucking Clannad is 2 seasons of 25 episodes out of a 100-hour game. It's pretty dense. So it's just like, I don't feel like this show is moving all that fast, and I'm wondering how much they're actually going to manage to adapt.
I mean, I'm assuming the like, quote-unquote main route is Asane.
Yeah.
And I feel like they could get through an Asane route because it feels like, you know, this episode they have this mission to find a particular girl who turns out to be a rogue sniper just hiding in the forest, who saves Jinosuke from getting caught by the sex police. So they know she's out there. They are going to sneak into the school records or something while the school is having the sex sports day next week. Like, I feel that whole operation could be paced so that there's time then for them to recruit this girl and one other character who's become embroiled, and then do like a climactic confrontation, and that leads to the consummation of the first route within 12 episodes.
11 episodes.
Or 11 episodes? 11 episodes.
That's why
I think...
Yeah, I'm just really curious about the pacing, because it does... I would feel better... Well, not like better, but like, I feel like I would have slightly more faith that this was literally going anywhere if we were moving slightly faster.
Yeah.
But it really wants to dwell on all of these, like, we read a dojin where this school has a funny sexual, like, thing going on, and we're gonna say, but what if I didn't want that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, I guess it's still a fascinating object because we just talked about it for 10 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
Let's move on. We are now moving out of the sex zone and back into wholesome territory with episode 10 of Kimi ni Todoke.
Yeah.
In which I have been forced to acknowledge that, yes, I am, in fact, the jock.
Mm-hmm. It's really cute.
Who we get to see, like, going full Inazuma 11 in the football game at Sports Day. Chizu's great. I love her. I am her. She does have exactly the same reactions that I do to everything, including snarling and raging about Kurumi manipulating Sawako into thinking that Kazehaya isn't in love with her. And like every time that Sawako and Kazehaya actually talk, it's fine. The entire problem is that he's too flustered and she's too shy for them to talk to each other regularly. Mm-hmm. But Sawako is steadily getting more and more popular with her class. Like, they all high-five her for luck before going to sports day, which is great.
It's adorable.
Sawako actually contributes in the soccer game.
Yeah.
Which is lovely. And then her shoe flies off and hits Kurumi in the head.
Yup.
Not even, like, close to the pitch. She's just walking by somewhere over there somewhere, and it lands perfectly on her head.
Yep.
And really the problem at the moment is that Sawako is incapable of, like, having any kind of negative interpretation of Kurumi's behavior, while Kurumi is, we've said this before, what Ugusidani in April Showers thinks she is. And so every time Ugusidani gets clowned, I get a rush of vicarious pleasure because I want to see that happen to Kurumi. But Kurumi is cooking up the idea that maybe there's another boy who likes Sawako besides Kazuhaya.
Yeah.
Which may or may not be the case. I don't know. Like, it's certainly plausible.
It's really funny because Kazuhaya is just like, they'll get into it, but like he takes some little pride in that he remembers Sawako's name. But then Ryo also remembers her name because Chizu drilled it into his fucking head. So
yeah.
Kazuhaya gets all shaken up about it. Oh, it's adorable.
Yes, and there's a lot more of that show, and I can't wait for all of it. Pour it into my face.
Yep.
Anyway, I started a rewatch of Heavenly Delusion with Tara, which I have to mention because I love that show, and it's bizarre and niche, and it absolutely deserves more attention than it got. It's from a couple of years ago. Genuinely, absolutely stunning animation and environment art. Really, really beautiful to look at. Also genuinely baffling, and it's really fun to be watching it now, kind of remembering what's going on, and seeing Tara react to it for the first time and not know what the fuck is going on. And call some things correctly already, but like, this show has the most gender per minute of any show I think I've ever watched, including My Dress Up Darling, especially in the early episodes. You know, there's a wild moment in the first episode where the female main character, or apparently female at this point, main character, leans in to kiss her reflection in a mirror and then is interrupted, and it pulls back to a shot of her standing in front of the mirror, and the mirror has a huge, like, diagonal crack through it that runs through her body. Absolutely wild art choice and very typical of the show. So I'm really excited to be rewatching that with someone who's seeing it fresh. And then in the territory of shows that someone is excited to be watching with someone who's seeing it fresh.
I am not excited. Y'all bullied me into this.
It's Infinite Stratos, which we watched like 1 and a bit episodes of this week because we got interrupted. But we did get the introduction of the French boy, who is definitely a boy.
Yep, for sure.
Absolutely nothing to see here.
Yeah, this is not going to be up before the next time we watch this, so we can make this joke and also clarify that he's definitely not a boy.
Yeah. There was a thing where the main character's 2 childhood friends and the blonde British girl who's become fixated on him as well all made him lunch, and in their different national traditions, and it was an excuse for a British food joke, because of course it was. Which is, like, I will take shit from the Japanese about British food. I will not take it from white Americans, but I'll take it from the Japanese. That's fair enough.
I mean, you'll take it from your wife, whether you like it or not.
You come from a nation that invented cheese that comes in a squeezy bottle.
I'm half your nation.
Then you bear all the sins of both.
Yeah. I can self-destruct. Fucking watch me.
These episodes of Infinite Stratos did feature the line, "Can you make sure she's properly mounted?"
Yeah.
For which I will be providing no further context.
Yeah.
Some very, very quick, brief mentions of other older stuff. I realised actually Arknights is in the wrong place. Arknights should have been earlier. Anyway, Chaika, we started season 2, watched the first 3 episodes of that. Suddenly, I don't remember us talking about the Emperor's Horde before this season started. That feels like that's a new thing.
Yeah, a little bit.
The girl who became a Chaika at the end of season 1 has selected her colour and it's purple. But this doesn't seem like a show that has a purple girl in the way that we're used to bullying Val about. So we'll see where that goes. We had a couple more great Akari moments. Like, they see the ocean for the first time, and they go and play in the rock pools. And Toru accidentally splashes Chaika, so Chaika starts splashing him back, and Akari comes up and says, a wet brother may look rather good. Let me help you, Chaika. And starts really throwing water all over him.
Yeah.
She's so normal. What the fuck?
She also drops the line, quote, "I've just witnessed the quintessential master of dripping wet love scenes," unquote.
I'd blanked that from my memory.
I mean, given the next bit where she threatens him to strip at knife point to try and entertain a guy who is trying to overcome trauma by being entertained.
Yeah, so the next hero that they have to get a body part from, a body part of the dead emperor, not a body part of the hero, if you've forgotten the pitch of the show, he's like always recruiting entertainers to come and entertain him. So they go in to renew their like entertainment troupe thing from the episode with like fake yellow Chaika. And Akari just goes off on one, claiming that Toru can sit naked in boiling water and do various tricks. And the guy asks for a demonstration, so Akari tells Toru he's got to get naked, and then when he blanches at the idea, she puts a knife to his throat to try to force him to do it. Anyway, all of this, like, they've been building up these questions about Chaika. This hero sees Chaika and is like, wait, I saw you die. I saw you get beheaded. But there's all this stuff about, like, the Emperor had a secret hoard on a hidden island, and we should go looking for that. Chaika wants to go looking for the hoard because she wants to look for another connection to her father. And then it turns out to be bizarrely easy for her to just magically find it flying on Frederica.
To be fair, the other Chaikas we've seen haven't been wizards, so they don't have access to, like, magic to find stuff.
True.
But yeah, she gets on the island, and that'll be next time.
We watched episodes 6 and 7 of Lone Life in Another World, which I thought we were meeting the actual series villain, maybe, but no, he's dead. We had a couple of great lines from, what's his name? Haruka, including death counts as a sort of status debuff.
Yep.
This whole episode felt like the climax of a season, but it's not. We're in the middle of a season. I have no idea where this show is going.
Yeah, that was the climax of Volume 1.
Right, that makes sense. Novel. I watched episodes 4 and 5 of Arknights. This is the one that should have been in the earlier block. Apologies. My notes on this are one word: Patriot. If you've played Arknights, that will mean a lot to you. If not, just know that this is one of the biggest, like, tragic moments in the game. It doesn't really make sense, per se, but my god, did they do it justice. We needed to take a break after episode 4 and again after episode 5. And finally, PatLabor the TV, episodes 26 to 28. This is like the start of the third core, basically. And so there's a new girl. She's been put in charge of the like blowhard, trigger-happy mech cop, which makes him very angry, which is good because fuck that guy. They also get a new HQ or something. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they're kitting out this new building for their like practicing in or something. And it is very, very haunted. And the character who most gets haunted is like the unit commander, who deadpans the whole thing until one of the haunts actually attacks him with a katana. The new girl is terrified of ghosts, though. And then the final bit of this section, Noah and her handler go to an arcade, and they see an arcade game that's basically like, that is to their job as like Virtua Cop is to being a cop. And Noah gets really, really mad at how kind of wrong and inaccurate it is. And the thing I really liked that she particularly fixates on is the enemies are wrong, because the setting is mechs were built for work, for labor. They do heavy lifting and construction work and stuff. There aren't a lot of military mechs around. And so most of what the PatLabor unit does is, you know, goes to corral people who are using mechs the way someone might use a runaway bulldozer. Which I don't know how common that is. It did happen here a few years ago. There was a new Travelodge being built, and they hadn't paid a guy. And so he got into the building site and jumped in a digger and started demolishing the porch of the thing, which power to that guy, honestly.
I have a weird tangent I need to go on.
Please.
Your explanation of Virtua Cop, but for mech thing, made me think of Virtual On, which is a plot point in Muv-Luv and Rumbling Hearts, but especially in Muv-Luv, because Takeru from Muv-Luv, being good at that game is why he is good at piloting mechs when he gets isekai'd into the alien timeline. But also, quote from Wikipedia, a reference to Virtual On can be found in the 21st episode of the Hyoka anime, where Hotaru and Satoshi played the Operation Moongate with the Virtualoids Raiden and Viper 2, respectively.
God, that's just stitched through our anime biography, I guess.
Yeah, I fucking guess. Mechs haunt my wake.
Incredible how entries in a genre influence one another.
Die. Thank you forever.
Anyway, are we done?
I believe we're done.
So We're Watching That Right is a project of Slimebug Productions. Intro and outro music is by me, graphics are by Val. You can find us on Blue Sky at slimebug.bsky.social, YouTube at youtube.com/slimeBugProductions. Download all episodes from Libsyn at slimebug.pro, and join our Discord via the link in the description. Thanks for listening, and until next time, may anime neither betray or disappoint you.